Today we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of all the different Flair espresso makers out there. So starting off, this is what the Flair looks like. It comes in a variety of different colors. This can change to different colors. The base can change to different colors. All of these are pretty much the same outside of the Pro does have a grip handle on it to just provide a little bit more smoother of a pull. All of them come collapsible, and all of them come and fit in a travel bag that fits pretty easily in a backpack. You can take this thing through the airports and travel pretty much anywhere you want to with it. This is a great machine. I've used it for the past few years through all the different upgrades and all the different changes about it, and it's a highly recommendable thing. So all of the information I'm giving you today is going to be as of late March of 2020. If you have any questions or concerns, or it's later down the road and you want to know if there's any differences, feel free to drop a comment. I stay fairly updated with all the things that Flair does. I've been backing them for years. I've been upgrading all my stuff as it comes out and releases, so I'll stay up to date with it. And if you have questions, just feel free to drop a comment and let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those or find the answer for you. So today we're going to be comparing 4 different types of Flairs. We're going to start off with the Flair Classic, then we're going to move to the Flair Signature, then we're going to move to the Flair Pro Signature Pro 1. The Pro 1 is not released anymore, but it was out there. They upgraded to the Pro 2 in November of 2019. But I'm still going to cover the Pro 1 because there are some differences between that and the Pro 2. And in case you find one used, you'll have the upgraded. You'll be able to know what the difference is. And lastly, the Pro 2, which came out November of 2019. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. What's the difference? What ones should you buy? What I like, what I don't like about all of them. So starting off with the Classic, is it comes with the brew head. This is what that's called right there. Inside the brew head, you will see a line that represents how high you should fill your brew head with hot water. This is going to be the 2-in-1 portafilter. So basically you put your coffee grounds into that. It's 2-in-1 because right now it's bottomless, but you can just clip this little thing onto the bottom and you can make it sprouted so you don't have to worry about getting a mess. But the nice thing about the bottomless is it helps you diagnose your shot, help you see what you did wrong and try to correct it. It comes with this plastic tamper as well as a bean dosing thing, so you can put your beans there and weigh them out, as well as this funnel that goes on top of the portafilter that helps you pour in your grounds and not make a mess everywhere. It comes with the dispersion screen. This is stainless steel, which is a newer release here in the past 6 months or so, and that just sits on top of that right there, so hot water goes through that, through your grounds, and then out the bottom. And this is the plunger. So this goes on top, or the piston. This goes on top right here, and the lever just pushes that down, which forces the hot water through the grounds. And this is the drip tray. On the Classic, it comes with the plastic drip tray right here. So that's what you get for the Classic. It's a great first setup. This is what I began my Flair, my seasons of Flair with. I bought it a few years back when it was first released, before all of this new stuff came. Moving on from that is you have the Flair Signature. The Flair Signature comes with everything you see here outside of this little plunger. So everything you see right here. And it comes with an upgraded stainless steel tamper. And it comes with a pressure gauge. So this basically helps you realize how, it helps you pull consistent shots. It lets you pre-infuse and lets you know how much pressure you're pre-infusing, and it helps you know if you're getting into that 6 to 9 bar range for espresso, and it helps you continue to pull a consistent shot. So basically, to use that, you just put this little piece right here on top of your brew head, and you fill up to the line right on the inside, so right in there. And then you put your pressure gauge on and plunge down that way. Now the pressure gauge does come with a silicone sleeve. However, I bought mine a while ago and it didn't come with that at the time. So you're basically getting all of the same stuff here. You're upgrading for this price of the Signature upgrade, you're getting a pressure gauge and you're getting this stainless steel heavy duty tamper, which is quite a bit of an upgrade from the plastic one that it came with. Moving on, you get to the Pro 1 and Pro 2. Now this change has made quite a bit of a difference between this. So starting off on the Classic and Signature portafilter, you can get roughly 12 to 18 grams of coffee in one of these things. The reservoir holds roughly 60 grams of water. Going to the Pro 2, it upgrades from the 12 to 18, and it goes from 14 to 24. So you can get quite a few more grounds into the Pro models, as well as the reservoir. You can get up to 70 milliliters of water. So we're going to start with what's the similarity between the Pro 1 and Pro 2. So starting off, you get this 2-in-1 drip tray. So it's a nice stainless steel drip tray. Now nice little upgrade from the plastic one. Obviously, it doesn't affect your shots. You are getting a brand new brew head. So this one's quite a bit wider and requires a pressure gauge to operate it. So you can see the difference there between that one and this one. It is quite a bit wider and just a tad shorter on this one. You're getting the plastic tamper, the dosing funnel, a stainless steel tamper, and a pressure gauge. The pressure gauge for the Pro 1 comes without the silicone gauge. The Pro 2 comes with the silicone gauge. And the Pro 2 also comes with a grip right here on this handle. For when you push it down, it has a little bit of a silicone padding and grip. So there's a lot of similarity. Most of the stuff is the same between it. These little rubber caps right here, it comes with one of those. I think it comes with the... I think they changed manufacturers and they might have changed colors on the silicone things here out, but either way, that doesn't really matter a ton. But basically what this is this is a cap to put your brew head on, and you preheat water by pouring it through this hole so you can preheat that, versus the Classic and the Signature. You either had to put the portafilter in a bowl, or you had to take that plunger, put it upside down like that, and preheat that way. So that's definitely a nice little upgrade on that. Comparing, we're going to go look at the portafilter on this. So I'm not sure, I don't really remember the size difference between this one and the standard one, but you can see in here that the diameter is quite a bit different from both of those. You can actually pretty much fit that inside pretty easily. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. So basically this is a completely bottomless portafilter. It's stainless steel. There's no plastic on the outside. There's a rubber grip and heat resistor on the side of it. This also comes with a drop-down screen. So you just drop that down on the inside, versus the Signature and the Classic has the stainless steel one that kind of sits on top. So basically, this sits directly on top of your grounds whenever you put them in there. I love this portafilter. I love the size difference on it. One of the nice size things about this is the puck, which is basically the grounds when they're wet after you pull a shot or slightly dry. Basically, it's easier to knock those coffee grounds out of this one than it is the Classic because of the wider diameter. Moving on to the Pro, we're going to see quite a bit of a difference here in the way it looks. So there's this company called, there's a company that makes basically these screens and portafilter baskets that go into commercial machines. La Mazzarocca, which is a machine that makes $5,000 home espresso machines and machines that you'll see in cafes constantly throughout the United States. They make their portafilter baskets, as well as another company called VST, which makes some of the best portafilter baskets out there for commercial and home 58 millimeter portafilters. Flair decided that they were going to use the same factory for this new Pro 2 as the La Mazzarocca and the VST companies do for their portafilter baskets. So in other words, this is a really, really high quality basket. The holes are precision cut. It's a heck of an improvement from the old one in a good way. Not that the old one was that bad, but it's quite a bit of a different here. One of the things starting off that I love about that new one versus the old one is on the Pro 1 on the left here versus the Pro 2. if you look underneath of that, this can wiggle, and it basically has a slight arched basket here, which basically prevents us from tamping. It's hard to tamp. A lot of people basically kind of take it and put it on the cap here to kind of help with that a little bit. I don't do that because I'm preheating that, and it's just kind of complicated. The Pro 2, however, sits flush with the ground because it has that lip around it. So you're not worried about damaging the basket. It doesn't move around at all. And on top of it, they did this substantial upgrade to the Pro 2, which I absolutely loved. When I upgraded to the Pro in general, it was kind of a tough thing because I live in a family where I want to be able to see that bottomless portafilter and diagnose my shots. But my wife, however, just wants to make her coffee in the morning and get through quickly. So not having the sprout option on that was kind of a problem for us. So therefore, I've been always using the Pro one, and my wife has always been using the Classic and Signature portafilter because it has the sprout on it. But however, with the Pro 2, it comes with this nice little sprouted clip-on portafilter, or basically sprout that clips onto it. It stays on there well. It has these notches to pull it out, and you can slide it directly onto the Flair. We'll get into that plastic ring in a second. And you have a nice sprouted portafilter there. Or you just clip it off and find those little cutouts right there. You can see and just pull that off, and it comes off nice and easy without a lot of force. I did that one-handed, so that is a pro to it. And that's what you have for the Pro 2. So basically the difference is the portafilters. It comes with that little silicone grip for the pressure gauge, which isn't a huge deal, and it comes with a grip on the handle. So one of the things I'm going to start with is with the Classic. If you've bought it recently here, I'll get into the little changes here in a bit. You can upgrade every single thing except for the grip on the handle and have yourself a Pro 2. So you can upgrade from all your portafilter and brew head. You can buy this separately from Flair with the pressure gauge, with the bigger tamper, with the Pro 2 basket, with the stainless steel drip tray. You can buy all of that from Flair. So if you have a budget and you can't afford the Pro 2, that doesn't mean you can't ever get there. You can start with the Classic and work your way up there. This base is going to be the same all throughout, outside of the colors and the grip. So the strength of it, what portafilter it can fit on it, all is going to be the same. That's where this little plastic ring comes about. If you buy the Signature and the Classic, you're going to see this little black plastic ring on there. And basically what that is that's going to be an adapter to fit the Classic and the Signature portafilter on there. So you just slip that on there, and that's going to make it fit anything that you want it to. Starting off on my opinion on what I would do. So I started with the Classic before the Signature and the pressure gauge was really released. Then I moved to the Pro 1 and upgraded my entire base and everything. And then I ended up upgrading those last few things to basically make it the Pro 2. So starting off, if you've been backing Flair for a long time, they have changed this little part of the Flair multiple times. So it started with the Classic didn't have a bottomless portafilter, so that was different, and you could upgrade this into making it so you can use the bottomless portafilter. Then they released the Pro model, and they had to make this bigger, which required them to make more of a stronger base and all of that. So depending on when you bought your Flair affected whether or not you could upgrade to the Pro model with what you already had by just buying the portafilter and the brew head. You might have had to upgrade the entire thing so you could use the Pro 2, which means your old Signature and your Classic were really kind of invalid because the base would not transfer over to the new stuff. Now, since as of now of late March 2020, you can buy the Classic as is, and you can just upgrade straight to the Pro because the base is now the same, which is a nice thing, because if you're starting on a low budget and you can't afford the Pro 2, you can always continue to upgrade your stuff to get there if that was your desire. So starting off, if I didn't have any of this stuff, if I've never used Flair before, the first thing that you need to focus on is what kind of grinder you have. You can't buy a cheap $40 grinder from Walmart. It's not going to do the trick. You're not going to be able to dial in your espresso the way you want to, and it's going to leave you frustrated. The best thing you can do is invest a good amount of money into a grinder. If you want the best quality one, I would highly recommend going with a hand grinder. You can the cheaper one that I've used would be an air grind by Knock. You can buy it on Prima Coffee, and that does a good trick. If you wanted to upgrade a little more from there, you could spend around like $250 or so for a Comandante grinder. I also think it's available on Prima Coffee. I believe at some point Flair might even release their own grinder, and you could buy that there. So there's a lot of options out there for grinders. Electric grinders, you have to spend more money to get better results. So I'd highly recommend a hand grinder if you're trying to do this on a budget. Starting off, I would actually probably, in all honesty, I would just skip the classic in general. The reason for that is I started with this. I started with a cheap espresso machine from Goodwill, did some research, and then upgraded to a nicer espresso machine from Goodwill, and then I bought my classic. After some time, they released a pressure gauge for the signature, and I ended up upgrading to that. And the quality difference between my espresso was day and night. It started with I thought I was pulling good shots, and then I actually saw how much pressure I was putting into it and realized that I needed to basically put more force and more pressure to pull better shots. So starting off, I would just skip the classic all in general and start with the signature, because that pressure gauge makes a huge difference on the quality of your shots. In all honesty, definitely the Pro 2 is my favorite one of the bunch. There was a slight issue with the slope on the inside of the portafilter on the Pro 2, but Flair is working on adjusting that to make it better. So if you've heard anything about that, don't worry about it. It's being fixed as you know it, and will be available to buy on their website, I'm sure. But definitely start with the signature, and then later down the road, I would recommend jumping to the Pro 2. I love the fact that you are able to get more than 18 grams in this, and that it fits more of the general size of Flair. But highly recommend at least starting with the signature to get the pressure gauge. It's a day and night difference. Also, I wanted to let you know the difference. There is a difference between the pressure gauges on the signature and the Flair. So if you have the signature portafilter and the Pro portafilter, and you want to use a pressure gauge on the signature, you have to have a different pressure gauge. If you'll notice on the stems of these pressure gauge, the Pro one is quite a bit larger because of the fact that the brew head for the Pro is shorter. So you have to have two pressure gauges if you're doing both. The last upgrade that I'd highly recommend from Flair, which I just picked up, is this. This is literally a sticker, and it has different temperature markings on it. So it's got the Celsius in big, and the Fahrenheit and the little number on the top. The nice thing about this is this allows you to know how hot your brew head is. The hotter the temperature is, the sweeter and the better the shot will be. Before I got this, I realized how terrible, or like how I wasn't actually preheating this thing as much as I should be. You can still get decent results without preheating it fully, but it just really made a heck of a difference in my shots since I've gotten this. Basically, each one of these numbers changes colors to indicate which one or what temperature you are at. So this is like $5 off of their website. When you order your Flair, just go ahead and buy that. It's worth the extra $5, and it definitely allows you to really know the difference of the temperatures of your shot. I've been using the Flair since December of 2016 was when I got my first Flair. So I'm about two and a half years into it, something like that. and I've been through the Classic, the Signature, the Pro 1, and the Pro 2. Obviously, you get what you pay for, and the best is going to be the Pro 2. It pulls nice shots. The Classic, it's kind of hard to do the bottomless. It'll drip off the sides here and there, but it's nice. It still does a great job and is a great starting point. The Pro 2 is just nice because it kind of hits everybody. I'm going to start traveling a lot more with this brew head, or in this portafilter in particular, because I can just slap on the sprouted port when I want to pull a shot and not have to worry about a mess. But you get what you pay for. All of these are going to be quality. One of the reasons why I chose to go with Flair versus any of these other companies, I've used the Rock before, not a super big fan of it. The Flair, there's literally no maintenance on it. You can buy a $400 machine or a $2,000 machine from Breville, or the Rancilio Sylvia, or any of those machines, and they're all going to have maintenance. You're going to have to descale them and all this. All you literally have to do is knock out the grounds of your coffee and run it through the sink. You don't have to worry about things breaking. Flair has great customer service if you have a problem. I did break my pressure gauge once. Also, speaking of that, don't pull a shot without heating up your pressure gauge when it's like 20 degrees outside. Otherwise, you will break it. I learned that the hard way, but Flair was great at doing their warranty for me and taking care of me. It's exciting just to see how Flair improves. I think my main con to all of this is 2 years ago, they didn't even make this in a bottomless portafilter. And since then, they've made it a 2-in-1 portafilter. They've added a pressure gauge. This portafilter and this Flair came out, and now they're at this Pro 2 model. And they're still improving, which is a great thing. But it's like, when do you want to buy stuff? Because you never know when they're going to release new things. So this is the update as of late March 2020. I'm excited to see where Flair goes as a company. If you have any questions, if you want to know the updated things here now as Flair releases new stuff, just shoot me a message, comment down below, and I'd be more than happy to do it. Feel free to check out my other videos. I got some videos on modding grinders, some workflows of the Pro 1, and some other comparisons here and there. But I would love it for you to subscribe and continue watching and supporting me as I make these videos. If there's a video you want to see that I don't have out yet, let me know and I'll see if I can get the gear together to do that video for you. Yeah, just go ahead and click the subscribe button and continue to support me as I produce these videos.